Hello, hello. This is awesome. I get to use a mic. Wicked. All right, welcome everybody to the lodge. This is inaugural evening. This is our first event, so I guess you're gonna have to kind of pile around. Hopefully, it's not that hard to see everything because you're gonna want to catch the screen. Um, and we'll kick it off by I'll give you guys a quick idea of what we're trying to do here, where it's come from. And then we'll jump right into the presentations and all that good stuff why we're all here. So I guess I have to keep this right beside me too, right? All right, so I'll give you a little snapshot of the reason we kind of came up with this idea called PitchIt. And it started by the fact that we work with, I guess I'll backtrack a little bit, sorry. My name is Jeffrey. You guys might want to know that, I guess. And I own and run a company called Harboot Communications, and we're a software company. So we build custom application software for startups and enterprise development. So in some of the startups that we've been working with over the last couple of years, we started to kind of dive into all these different sectors and grow with the businesses that we're working with. And one of the things that was brought up was we need to kind of get more exposure for the startups to be able to pitch and get in front of businesses and people like you when they're looking to raise money, and or just because they want to talk about their business. And so we decided that we'd come up with a platform, and that's where PitchIt came up. And as because we started PitchUp literally 5 days ago. So it's kind of cool that in 5 days everybody's come to check this out. So from there, we've started a product about 2 months ago called OPN. And OPN was one of the ways that we wanted to give back to the communities by trying to figure out who we could talk to out there that could, one, talk about their business and experiences and where they've come from. So OPN.Ninja started, and basically we kind of coined it as we're looking for ninjas. So as we've been kind of growing that, PitchIt came along, and we thought that would be a great product to fit inside of OPN. So not only are we out talking to businesses, entrepreneurs, and C-levels and getting their experiences in life and recording these live, but now we can get businesses that are out there trying to make a difference, and they can come up on a platform and start talking about their business, and that's where we've come up with PitchIt. So we kind of wanted to make this a little bit more interesting and exciting, so we've added in a couple of extra elements. And some of the things that we've added in are, one, we put together a quick little panel, and this panel is actually going to listen, learn from the pitches, and we're going to compile information, and that'll get sent back to the groups that are pitching so they can get better at what they're doing. The way that the criteria is going to work, it's going to be 10 minutes to pitch your product, and then 5 minutes of QA. So we really hope everybody will throw out some of their questions, comments, why would you want to invest? Why would you be interested in this company? And we'll go from there. If you do, of course, have an interest in the business and you want to invest or you want to somehow help or make connections for those businesses, by all means, take note of the person that's pitching. And when we regroup after, we'll be able to jump right into that. And you guys can have that discussion with them. So we want to keep it exciting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the people that are going to actually be sitting on the panel, mini panel. Bowden, where's Bowden? Bowden's number one. This guy's awesome. So he's going to be the first person, and he carries a lot of background and experience in the tech world as the CTO of Marcatus, and I think he's part of about 50 companies and counting. Maybe not that many, but close enough. But he's awesome. So he's going to be the first panelist that we're going to have on. So, and then the next person is Debbie. And Debbie is awesome. She's writing a book. She does The Silver Lining. I actually interviewed with her today. She's pretty awesome. And she has kind of the winner of tonight's pitch-a-thon is actually going to get a book and a few other little things and some big nuggets of information from all of us. So Debbie is going to be part of that as well. And then Brian Keeler, who has, I don't know, like 30 years of media and tech experience. He's going to be coming on board as well, and he's going to be able to talk through all this. So we have an excellent panel, and these guys are going to take some notes, and then when we're done, over the next couple of days. They're going to get an email with kind of some feedback on what can help you guys. So that's kind of how the process is going to work. The first company that's going to come up is going to be Caesar from Lucia. So I don't know if we want to be strict on the timing, but we probably will be. So we'll make it 10 and then 5 minutes of QA, and then we're going to go on to the next two companies. And I'm going to let each one of the companies introduce themselves so they can actually do justice to their business, and that's why they're here. So as the next step, feel free to tweet everything out. We can use, and Megan will, I think it's hashtag is, you can use the OPN network one. So it's O People Network.
Yes, he's right. And then hashtag PitchIt, and of course, hashtag meetup at meetup, because this is a meetup, and that's how you all found us. So please tweet a lot. And I'm going to be doing live feeds from Jeffrey's Facebook account. You can join us on Open People Network, which is our Facebook page. And Jeffrey would love to connect with you on LinkedIn because he's very active on it. Right? Right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Wicked.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so it's okay. Let's do this. Can I have your attention, please? The people at the back. Okay. Time for the story. When does the clock starts? Okay, come in. Good night, everyone. My name is Cesar. I'm the CEO of Lutkia. I'm a social entrepreneur. Tonight, I'm going to be introducing Lutkia. Lutkia is an ethically crowdsourced payday loan startup. Okay, and I specify the ethically because we're going to be talking about that later. Our vision is to restore hope and to create wealth, one payday loan at a time. So what does that mean? Right now, the payday loan industry is out there taking advantage of people in need. That's what the industry does. And we have a perception of borrowers is that these people are not going to be able to pay in time, and that's why they could and they should and they will be abused. Okay? Given that, sorry, there is some. Can I kill the replay, please? The sound. The sound that is echoing. The laptop. Okay, sorry about it. It's kind of really difficult to speak and listen to yourself at the same time. Yeah, and with this accent, it doesn't make it easy. I'm like, I could hear my accent. Okay, so let's go back to it. Okay, so getting back to Restore Hope. 2 years ago, I was a successful self-employed IT who had a just born baby, and I bought a house. So I was the typical PM that you're familiar to see on Bay Street. Then I was crossing the street, and I got hit by a car. So that's pretty much, so now you see me, so you know the story doesn't end with me dying there. But yeah, it was bad. As I was crossing, the car went and hit on my left side, and it was 6 months that I wasn't able to work. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't able to provide to my family. I first used my savings, line of credits, then I use credit cards, and then I have to go to a payday loan company to try to save my mortgage so I didn't lose the house that I bought for my family just months before that. And here are the problems that I found. And is the payday loan industry is taking advantage because there are no many options for people on my position that were self-employed. The interest that the payday loan companies charge legally is incredibly high. It's 21% every 2 weeks. if I lend you right now $100 and I tell you that you have to pay me 121 in 2 weeks, and then if you don't pay me, you're gonna pay me 21 on top of that. Well, we could connect that with that, and that's what's happening. There is no rewards. The whole system is based on punishment instead of reward. Now, the solution. So, given that I was there and given my technological background and PM background, I decided to build a platform where borrowers and lenders can interact. Because when you open the marketplace, the marketplace, that's when you actually. There you go. Thank you. That is when you actually bring the prices down. So you have to free the market. This is what Uber did with the transportation industry, and we are doing the same thing. We're allowing lenders to come into a market and start lending for interest. So that's going to bring the prices down. Let's understand the market. If there are borrowers, there are lenders. So what do we offer the lenders for them to actually want to join Kia and start lending? Well, we are offering interest returns of 9 to 15%, which is higher than what they get in the stock market, Forex, or any other kind of traditional investment routes. Why we can do that? Because you don't need to use people to make enough money. Like 21% every 2 weeks is way too much, as I see it. Who are the borrowers? The borrowers are 1.5 million Canadians that last year have to go to these payday loan stores to get a loan. These people are single mothers, they are contractors, they are recent grads, which is a big problem now, and especially pensioners, 18% of them. So they're targeted because they're easy for the payday loan industry to take advantage of. The best example that I could put is, think about the subway. Last time that you took the subway all the way to downtown, in that wagon, you could see lenders and you could see borrowers. And next time that you get on one, you're going to see the doctor, which is the lender. You see a social-minded person that doesn't mind investing money and helping at the same time. And then you could see a single mother. Next time that you see, you're gonna think, well, in this wagon we could see Kia, and there wasn't a way for those people to connect and lend money because the government make it very difficult for those people because a lot of other stakeholders are making money on it. So why do these people ask for money? It's staggering to see 52% of them is necessities, meaning this is food, this is baby powder, this is diapers. This is something that you require, like as a human being, you need to eat, you need to provide for your family. 52% is the reason those people go. 22% is to avoid, is to pay for bills, which is electricity, water, heater in the winter time. And then you have the bouncing checks, which is people that are paying rent and let's say, for example, they're running short and they know the check is going to bounce and they're going to get kicked out of their apartment. They go to a payday loan, ask for money so their check is not going to bounce, and they end up paying interest on that money. 11% is people who need it for something else. So any other expense. Out of those 1.5 million, we could see that what I was saying, the numbers are going up. It was 1.9% of the population of Canada in 2009, and it went up to 4.3 in 2014. So we could see the trend. People are requiring this more and more. It's becoming their safe net for a lot of people. In 2014, they paid $335 million on fees. That's quite a bit of money on fees. This is not the total worth of loans they did. This is the fees they paid. And these storefronts, they're paying they have to make at least $16 anytime that they make a payday loan because they need to cover their leases, their bulletproof glasses, the clerks, the insurance, the alarms, and everything that requires with running a brick and mortar store, right? So I'm assuming these people, it's not like they're entirely bad. It's just they're running a very inefficient business. And there is no disruptor right now on the industry. So there are a lot of startups in the fintech industry, but all of them are focused on the same market. That is the 1,000 to 30,000. None of them is focused on these very small 100 to 500. Okay. So how are we gonna acquire clients? This is important. So now that we know who the borrowers are, we have to get to them. So we're gonna be using a mix of guerrilla marketing and traditional marketing. Once again, let's go back to the Subway example. If we have these two people right there, well, it kind of makes sense to advertise there, and public transportation. If the retires are people who are heavily target, then we could go to bingo. We could work with the student networks for the graduate students. So we have to be smart. This is not about wasting money, because that's what the traditional marketing of payday loan companies does, or financial in general, is put an ad on TV. We want to get to them. We don't want to waste the money on marketing, because we want to keep our costs low and get to as many people as we can. The retention consists of making this process very easy for them and always be there when they need it. If they ask for money, they have to click on the app, and they should have it on their virtual wallet. They should be able to pay right away, and they should be able to easily return the money. And once again, when they need it, it should be easily to access. If we continue doing that and increasing the amount of money that they could request, that's what creates loyalty in a customer. Once again, the lenders, we are offering returns of 9 to 13%, which is pretty generous. Lutkia make $5 per transaction. I have some basic math here, which is pretty much worst scenario, which is 45,000 loans only one time. So that means like no users coming back, which never happens. And just on that scenario, Lutkia is generating 868,000 for lenders, and we are taking 272 at that point. And that was for 45,000, which the traditional payday loan industry will charge at least 20 times that amount. Hey. Why is important to make this process easy? Technology is extremely important. It cannot be a long form that these people are going to take 10 minutes filling. It has to be something that they take the debit card and they tap it with their phone, and we have most of the information. Then the driver license. It's about making it easy for them and transferring the money easy. We're going to be connecting with a third-party vendor that is going to allow us to use a virtual wallet, so the money will be right away available on the phone. So we are talking about getting approved and being able to use. So think about if you go for dinner and let's say you forgot the wallet and you're right there in the restaurant, you're like, oh, take your phone, press the button, with Kia, $100, you pay with the phone. So it could happen to anybody. What's the difference between other competitors and us is everyone is focused right now on the 1,000 to 30,000. That's pretty much the pound that everyone is fishing on. We are going to specialize on the people that are in the 100 to 500. It's a huge market. We are going to get a lot of data by how they use the application, how they pay, their behavior returning the money. So we're going to be able to learn about an audience that right now is being ignored. So financial companies right now are ignoring this because to them it's a risk. It's a risk. We see it as human beings and they follow behaviors. So we are going to analyze those behaviors, and that's what's going to make Lutkia. Next time I'm going to change this thing to something more practical. So the whole idea is to analyze the data. It could become a data science company. That's why we are not in the business on taking as much money as possible on every loan. We are in the business of learning about them, making enough money for our lenders and our stakeholders, and grow with the data that we are getting. Who are we competing with? So the big guys over there, everyone knows Money Mart. They're a payday loan. They're online, but anyways, you have to go and register in the store. They push 750. It's a process that is very humiliating. When you go into a store, they take a picture of you. As soon as you say it's a payday loan, the attitude change. So the happy customer service become, okay, show me you're real or not. So it's very easy if we're not going to be competing with the traditional person that is treating the customers like that. We are making it that they don't have to interact with someone like that. Cash for less is pretty much the same, but they're not pushing the online as much. And I go down to lending loop because they have probably the best infrastructure layout for lending. It's very similar to ours, but it's for a small business. They only care about business. So we are learning from them on how they're doing the corporate structure, and we'll be implementing the same, but for the people that we really care, that is the people that need those payday loans urgently. The team. So I'm Cesar. I have 13 years of experience in IT, especially as an IT project manager. I moved lots of data centers. The last job that I did was with Maple Leaf Food, with the sale of Canada Bread. I have an excellent team behind me. Caroline, who is a PMP registered, and she works for HP for 26 years. And Radek, who was the VP of Finance for Dynamic Tire. Milan, who is an amazing product engineer, used to work for Sovis, and Vince, who is a controller for Xerox. If you notice, I'm the youngest one there, in case you and that's because I care about experience. This is not a game. This is not a toy. We are all in on this. So if I was going to jump in this boat, I wanted to jump in this boat with people I could enjoy this ride, and I know they're going to be loyal to me. And I'm going to return that by being loyal to it, and we're going to build an amazing company. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm sorry about the technical problems.
Only broke the barrier by 4 minutes, so we won't be up for that. So we have 10 seconds for Q&A. I'm just curious. Hey, wait, you can't leave yet, man. All right, so we're gonna have a few questions. So we'll open mic it, so you guys can ask anything you like. So there you go. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, why $5 and what's the repayment period?
It is 1 month, so we are not going to go by the standard of 2 weeks. And $5 is because that covered our OPEX. Is enough profit for the company, and we don't need to abuse people. We could go much higher. We could go really high, but we believe that that's the number that is going to cover all of our operations. Is going to make enough money for us, and it allows us to keep the prices down. Anybody can compete with prices, right? So we don't want to enter in that game. We want to have a fair price, and we want to focus on a good product.
And I guess what's your ask? What do you want?
That's a. What was the ask? We have, okay, so here's the thing. Pre-seed, we got enough to go productions, to go live. We have all the software development paid off until production. Of course, every startup needs money. So we are looking to raise 1.4 that will cover a whole full operations for a year. For now, we're going all in until we find the right partner. So it's not about getting money from anybody, because it's easy to get money that you don't have to report to. It's about getting strategic angel investors, like somebody who understands the product and actually believe on it, because we are dreamers. So if I take the money from somebody who is a shark, and I don't want to. Oh, excellent question. Thank you. So we take one loan and we split it on 10 pieces. So on that way, a lender will never lose 100% of one loan. So let's say one person defaults, that default gets divided between the 10 people that invested on that loan, right? So a lender will maximally lose 10% of the loan. So that's how we calculate risk. And we are using algorithm to make sure that every lender is profitable. Now we're not going to make, we know that there are going to be some losses. We're already calculating a high number between 11 and 15, which is really high compared to the 4 to 7% that Canada right now has. And even inflating the numbers like that, we are still good. So we are still covering all the losses, and the lenders still make 9 to 13%. It's a lot of money. Like this, it's incredible. These payday loan companies are so greedy. Like there is enough cheese for everyone. Please.
It's a PR question, but what was the decision making behind naming it Kia? Because I feel like maybe there's a reasoning there, because the first two things that come to mind is loot means to steal. Kia is a budget Korean car company.
It's energy.
Exactly
remember the balance. So Chi is the balance between good and bad, is the energy, right? That's what in the Korean is. It's not a cheap car. And loot, more than it's not something you take, it's a treasure that you capture, because we have to go and get the treasure from these payday loan companies. They're not going to give it to us for free. We have to fight for it. So this is the energy of money. So that's what Lukia means, is the energy of money.
In your guerrilla marketing?
Oh, of course. That's why the owl has one big eye and one small one. It's all about being clever.
Why 10 companies? Why only split up into 10?
Into 10 pieces, mathematically is safe. We could make it smaller. It's only about changing the algorithm, but at that point we think is enough for the database to handle, and 10% is a very manageable rate to risk. Right? Yeah, we tested the model. It's all of course mathematics, and yes, that we're constantly pushing different scenarios into a model. So if we increase the number of people, default. So that's why we went all the way to 11, 13, and we said, well, what happened, right? And the lenders still make money. And, you know, like the way we split it is when somebody asks for the loan, it's already pre-qualified because we know the identity and we know that it's only $100. Think about this: how much traditional financial companies spend for customer acquisition? So think about TD Bank. They will offer you an iPad, a TV, all that, so you move to them, right? How much money is that to acquire a customer? It's like 700, 800. Even if we lose $100, you know, and of course we are accounting for that, we are getting all the information that this person is providing us because we're doing card linking with his bank account. And we don't want to persecute these people the same way that the traditional financial industry does, you know, trying to damage the credit or, you know, threaten this person. We want to be a friend. $100 is something you could pay back eventually, plus the penalty. And we are going to be able to get these customers' information, which on the long run is going to make the company worth. It's going to make the company be very exciting for an exit.
Dovetailing on that, what is your customer acquisition cost?
So right now we are investing heavily. It's 500,000 split between marketing and what we are doing with every customer in the. For example, in the Subway, we're spending marketing, right? But when we are actually giving the money, we could give rewards. So that rewards is part of the customer acquisition. And we are already calculating the number somewhere between $7 to $8 per client that we acquired. So, but that math, we're still working on that. That's something that is going to happen. It's a startup, so those numbers are still being worked on.
How do you qualify your clients? Without a brick and mortar, without any face-to-face?
Yes.
You know who you're dealing with.
Thank you. That's an excellent question. And we spend days and days and days working on that. There are some basic requirements, and everyone needs to have a driver license. You see, like if you look around, like who doesn't have a driver license nowadays? And if they don't have, do you really want to lend money? So that's the point. So that's the first one. They need to have a driver license, and they need to have a checking account that we could do card linking with, right? So on that way, we are going to be, if he already validated his identity with the bank, you know, and that's why he has a checking account. And the driver license, we are validating that is the person that is connected to a checking account. And on that way, we have the most important verification, that is the social media, the driver license, the checking account, and we are linked with a company called Secure, which does identity verification.
So the second of that, the first loan you give to somebody is going to be a higher risk loan.
Yes.
They're not qualified. We're talking about rewards.
Yes.
Meaning that you're anticipating multiple loans to the same person.
Yes.
So does the cost of, obviously, the cost of the person go down, or in your pools of risk, are you balancing those out first time versus?
We know there is going to be a big number of defaults at one point if we don't control it. But we also know that $100 is a very small cost, right? So it's very manageable. Like if you're managing a cost of 100 and you could see your numbers going down, it's very easy to just switch it around, make it a little bit more strict. Cut what we're learning. We are learning from these people. So if we learn that a certain kind of character is less likely to pay, then we could start correcting it there. But with $100 margin and risk, you can't go wrong, right? Let me jump in there and then I go back to you. Okay?
Wait, one more time for one more question, just because you gotta.
But this is fun. Okay. Yes.
But,
They could use the passport too.
but the other thing is about the customer, about the person who's lending the money. You haven't necessarily spoken a lot about that, how you will,
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you.
in a two-sided marketplace.
The lender is a social-minded person, meaning these are doctors, dentists, these are professionals that have a good income, but they're not traditional investors. So we are going to be targeting, for example, in the subway. That's a good example of how we could target both, because with one ad, we could target the borrowers and we could target lenders. But we don't believe we're going to have problems with lenders because the interest rate that we are offering is so good that so far I have a few people that are like, how much money can I put in? And I'm like, there is a limit. So we don't believe there is going to be a problem. Like right now, you go to a stock, to a broker, stock market, and you give him $1 million and he invested for you 1 year, you're not going to get 7% in return. If you're lucky, maybe 7, but no. And you could lose your money. There's to lose money. I know. The mathematics will defend me. Like it's all about managing the math.
Lots of positive energy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, we're going to regroup in about 1 minute. Yep. Brian, is that better on the light?
You can also move it down. Let me have you. No, it's still not getting you. You have to walk out of it. Walk back a little. Not further back. Yeah, I could also turn this one forward. Yeah, okay.
I won't do that. I promise you I'll learn a little bit. I agree. Energy, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a lot better.
Is that better, Brian?
You're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool.
All right.
Can you be a little more on this way?
I think what we're gonna do is just take this entirely away and just hold the mic.
Just hold the
Never
mic?
actually held the mic before. Yeah,
Doing it a little
well,
different.
like you my hand, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be like everywhere. I want like
I appreciate the clipboard. So
right.
I'll make a quick intro for you, and then
Sure.
we'll jump in. Ready? You wanted to just say Robert, or you wanted to be the site URL, or you can talk about all that? I'll just say
Robert.
Dave,
Yeah,
Robert.
Dave and Robert. There you go.
Sorry, Brian, we good? Yeah. All right, guys, we're ready to roll for the second pitch. Crowd around. We love the excitement. This is good. All right, so for the next pitch, and we'll set the timer at 15. We'll go a little bit more this time, but we'll start screaming if it goes near that. But so the next pitch is by another great company, and Dave is going to be pitching for Robin. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hands in the air if you like going to concerts or live events. Everyone. Okay, now keep your hands in the air if you enjoy the process of buying tickets to those same live events. Boo, that's right. There you go, yes. Okay, I'm Dave from Robin. We are your personal concierge for concerts and live events. You tell us what shows you want to go to. We take care of the ticket buying process, so you just worry about the show. The question is, why now? It's a great question. In the pre-e-commerce era, 2000 and before, customers had to adapt to businesses. Cable channels put on shows when they thought it made sense. Newspapers came once a day, and stores actually closed. You couldn't buy something. Past a certain hour, you couldn't buy anything. Fast forward to today, it no longer is enough to produce an incredible product or great service. That's given. What you actually need to do is to provide convenience. Customers are no longer buying products from companies, they're buying time. Except in the ticket industry. Now, I know many of you have purchased tickets for concerts before. You buy a ticket to that show. It's a great song. You want to buy a ticket to that show. Well, that show to be announced. Okay, that means you have to pay attention. Twitter, social media, maybe the newspaper, maybe again the radio. You're aware now. Now you're aware. Step 2, you've been made aware. So the first 2 steps are you have to hear the song, then you have to be made aware of it. You have to be paying attention so you know it's happening. Let's move on to step 3. This is my favorite step. Every single music show that goes on sale goes through a general on sale process. Often 10 a.m., often on a Friday morning. Who loves this so far? Cancel your meetings, skip your classes, or reorient your schedule in some other way so you can be available for the privilege of buying a ticket to a show that might happen in 6 months. Yay! Who's with me? There you go. Now, let's say you do that. Let's say you blocked off an hour of your time to wait in line online to buy tickets to a show. Congratulations. You're in line with every other fan out there. Fine. As well as, of course, scalpers. Not so great. And also scalpers software, known as what this means is that ultimately, after going through that whole ridiculous process, at the end of the day, and the face value price for a ticket. Ultimately, you need just dumb luck or a fat wallet to get into these shows these days. Welcome to Robin. Not anymore. You register with us, the shows you want to go. Simple. How does this work? The next question I'm sure you're all thinking is, makes no sense at all. We spent a lot of time over here talking about the customer. Let's spend a little bit of time over here on the industry side, the artist. You may think that artists use sophisticated data to plan each and every one of their concerts. Probably makes sense. This venue seems like the most appropriate place to go. And I think based on our last concert tour, we charged X. Let's charge X plus 10%. Or if you're Kanye West, X plus 4,000%. What? Go back, sorry. What their favorite artists are. And we simplistic. Now, ignore this large circle over here. We'll come back to it in a second, so just keep it in the back of your heads. We're focusing on concerts. North America, Canada, and the US, there were 230 million tickets sold to concerts. Of the 1 million of them were sold online. Let's get dirty. Let's get into the numbers. They're charging $15. That's the first income stream. As we grow, that demand data is more valuable to industry. Promoters, venues, they currently advertise scattershot, subways, buses, billboards, you name it. They advertise scattershot to bring people into the door. We're a much more cost-effective way of bringing people to the door. So remember that big circle I told you to ignore, the 960 million tickets purchased? text messages. They can text us when they want to go to a show instead of having to download an app and learn the ins and outs of that. So we're always thinking about the customer, how to make it more personal and make it more customized. All about customer insights and being available 24/7, 365 to as soon as they want the product, you often lose them forever. 24/7, 365 to capture that demand. In terms of the customer insights, I said earlier that we're all about capturing price sensitivity. And some of you may be thinking, we're going to price gouge these fans. We're going to get as much money out of them as we can. The reality, of course, is that most artists aren't like that. But they do want the knowledge. They want to know how much they can charge. They know what they're leaving on the table. Can they charge an extra 50 cents and just get a little bit more for themselves? Can they leave a lot on the table? And maybe there are some bands who want to charge all of it, but they're very rare and they're very few and far between. How do we acquire customers? We have a bunch of different ways. I want to touch on just one of them because I think it's the most interesting. A couple weeks ago, we managed the pre-sale for the Arkells, who are one of Canada's bigger bands. They're doing a cross-Canada arena tour. And we managed it for them to make sure that we triaged out all the scalpers so that only their real fans had access to tickets. I can tell you about how we do that in a second if you want. As a result of doing that on sale, we got 4,000 extra users. Pretty easy for us. There are also industry partnerships I talked about before. That's venues and promoters. And there's a bunch of online hacks we've done and we'll be doing. We can talk about those in the future if you want to talk about those. But there are a lot of fun, free ways to get customers to come to us. So these are the first year milestones. Again, I won't touch on all of them. But just to say that we do have product, team, and user goals going forward. These are our big goals for the end of 2017. 200,000 users, 1 million reservations. That's 5 reservations per user. And ultimately, the revenue of $675,000. And the ask, we're currently raising $400,000 US on a convertible note, safe. We currently have 200,000 already taken, so we're looking for the extra half. I'm not Adam, but that is Adam, our founder. So if you want to contact Adam, you can do that, or you can contact me at the same email address, but just put Dave instead of Adam. Thank you.
All right, we're going to do the QA, so fire away. Ask any questions you got.
Sure. So with the Arkells, yeah, so they're just with the Arkells. Yes.
I think what you're trying to sell me is somebody to be on the telephone.
Getting you tickets, yes. So initially, right now we're getting supply however we can. Eventually, as I said, we partner with artists. Those artists will give us those reservations to convert automatically. Yes. Right now, they actually have the ability to go around. They have about 8% of the tickets they're allowed to take and sell however they want. So that 8% is the ones that we're currently targeting. As that grows, we can. So the question was, how does the end user see this? Okay, so we are still playing with that. We're testing all the time. So one of the ways we're doing it right now is we just say to them, here are the different price levels. Which one do you want? In the future, what we foresee saying is, generally the price levels are this, this, and this. In this price range, which one do you fall into? And there's a whole bunch of different ways in the future which we foresee going, which could be anything from like 3 years down the line would be something like a, what's that app called? Tinder, where you could see the whole idea is that we provide. So the agent and the manager will probably do what they do with that demand data. Our job is to get them that data. They can make. Yep. The question was, are we not? We're using chatbots. That's the idea, yes. Sorry? We would say we have your reservation, and then when next time that artist announces a tour in your city or comes to your city, we would then say, we say you give the option of opting out. Yeah. Sure. So, I mean, these are issues we haven't actually encountered yet, right? So, when we do develop this chatbot, the idea I think is that we can only guarantee a reservation tour has been announced or the show has been announced. At that point, it's a little bit until it goes on sale, right? At this point, we have people signing up. So, I'll give you an example. People are signing up right now all the time for a show, and I would say 33% to half of them, 50% of these reservations are for shows that are already happening in their city, which is interesting because it means they're not aware. We can't guarantee you tickets to those shows.
Do they send you an email? Do they talk to a chatbot? Like, you've talked about a whole bunch of at the moment. How did you acquire the current ones that you have?
Oh, yeah. So they go to the website and they sign up. Yeah, there's a new login. You log in, you put in the artists you want to see, and then that's we capture that. Ouch. Woo. Not in here. Your guy, are you admitting to using scalpers right now? Yeah. How far in advance? I guess that would entirely depend on how quickly people signed up for it, right? And it also depends on. So what we're saying is how many reservations that are allowed for each show would be controlled by the artist. We're not going to start dictating how many reservations they hold. Now, if an artist wants to set aside 500 reservations, okay. If they want to set aside 5,000, once reservations run out, it hasn't happened. 1,000, that's also great. We are suggesting, the way we're thinking about it is once reservations run out and we have no more left, then we would say to them, you're in line for not this show, but the next show they come to town for. The only thing we can do in these situations is to be open and transparent. That's part of our brand promise. And so we're just trying to fulfill that brand promise and be open and transparent and be honest. So
One last question.
Quick question. You said 400,000. Like, what are the numbers on that? How much do you get for that?
So it's a convertible note. So there is no valuation until we actually go through an A round. So you're putting money in, and then that money would be the valuation would be done in the future on that. Okay, so with the 400,000, we have. I can show you later on. The majority of it, I believe, is 65% of it would be for salaries because we don't want to do this for free forever. And then the other big one is. I'll have to look at my numbers, but I can show it to you now if you wanted to look at it. The rationale for that is that realistically we're a tech first company, so we don't really have a lot of expenses necessarily. So the vast majority of the expenses go towards something like salaries to keep us doing this.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, man. Thank you. That was brilliant. All right, we got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, I'll just take it. Pops off.
Yeah, pops off. 1 minute. I'll do an introduction for you.
We're all going to click the phone out, jump in there, and press Yeah, well, actually, I'm supposed to be doing something. So I'm going to be doing some people on